Topics on the hill, NCU. Topics on the hill, all you need to know about NCU.
Coming back to one.
Hi, and welcome back to Topics on the Hill. You're here on the season finale, the final episode for the fall 2020 semester, and we're discussing final exams. As we spoke to Mr. Smith earlier about SLB challenges, what is expected of every student. And now with us, we have Dr. Grace Kelly. And Dr. Grace Kelly is the Director of Curriculum and Development at the second here. Yes, so she's the Director of Curriculum and Assessment here at NCU, and she'll be telling us more about what's happening as it relates to exam procedures and more. Raman, do you have any questions? Dr. Kelly, are you with us?
Yes, I am, and thank you. I'm here from the Department of Curriculum Development, Examination and Assessment.
Yes, thank you so much. Our papers are a bit ruffled, so I got it right there.
All right, Dr. Kelly, the administration has outlined 3 primary ways of assessing students this semester. We have the face-to-face exams, the online exams, and the take-home exams. I want you to speak to those 3 assessment formats very briefly, and tell us about the protocol that you developed to, administer these effectively.
Okay, thank you very much. The face-to-face examination modality is just what it is, face-to-face. So the students are gathered in the classroom or the designated area, and they are with their facilitator. And the protocol as it relates to COVID in terms of distancing, in terms of sanitation, all of that must be maintained. For this semester, we have only one such written final exam face-to-face, and that was administered on the first day, and the protocols were followed. I must say, though, in terms of final assessment for labs, for those who have labs maybe from medical technology or from the Department of Dental Hygiene, Nursing, those areas that have the laboratory assessment, they would also have done face-to-face for the labs with the same protocol. So what happened is that the administration, academic administration, worked along with the necessary entities to ensure the spacing, ensure that they know how many persons can be within that space, and the sanitization is there for that. As it relates to the online examinations are administered through 2 methods, or the use of 2 different applications. That's the regular AORIAN system that the students would have been using throughout the semester. And the only other approved for use at Northern Caribbean University to date is the class marker. So it means that the examinations are uploaded on the system and the students use their login and whatever has been designed for that, their account number, however they would access that, they would do the online. For take home, there are some departments, some subjects where the examination paper is given and the students are able to do that at home. They would complete their assignment, complete the exam, and submit it based on the established protocol, whether upload it to the system or email it. All right, but the preferred way is the utilization of the system. So that's it for face-to-face, online, and take home.
All right, thank you, Dr. Kelly. I want to speak to you a little bit more about online exams. What is the protocol for connectivity issues? Because the internet is so unpredictable. You'll be answering questions 1 minute and the next minute your page is refreshing, and then 5 minutes later it's still refreshing. So for students who experience this challenge, these or other challenges, what's the protocol for that?
I appreciate you asking this, but for that question, I am going to give way to our CEO, our Vice President of Information System, so that he could answer that in a more
Okay,
fulsome
all right,
way.
before we delve into that, Dr. Kelly, before we go over to Mr. Anderson, for some exams, there's an honesty agreement that must be signed by the students before taking the exam. Can you tell us more about this agreement and for which exams they apply to?
The Code of Honor statement is applicable to every examination, okay, every modality. And it's a code of honor where they would pledge their honor that they are doing their personal honest work and that they did not cheat and that they did not receive any unauthorized assistance, neither did they assist anyone, or neither did they use information from research from Google or whatever other methodology. They are acknowledging that they understand the regulations, and as it relates to cheating also, they need to understand that if they cheat and they are found out, it could be up to expulsion from the institution. So it's a code of honor that they sign to, and it's applicable to every examination. So sometimes it is uploaded in the system, sometimes it's on the extension of the examination that they are getting online. But generally, this one is applicable to all exams. But in particular, for online, we ensure that we have this code of honor built into the system so that person will understand that we take this seriously. And please understand, students, even with the code of honor, it's about your own personal integrity to ensure that you're honest in what you do.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Kelly. So with us also, we have the Chief Information Officer. He's also the Vice President of Information and Technology here at NCU, Mr. Antonio Anderson. Mr. Anderson, thanks for being with us this evening.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Okay. Yes, sir. What happens if a student encounters a challenge during the exam, such as a software or hardware issue, or simply electricity or an internet outage? How will students be able to reclaim the time lost while doing the exam?
Okay, so the first step that you have to do if any student find himself in that situation is to reach out to your professor. Contact your professor immediately, right? Once you have done that, then you can go to your professor will most likely reach out to us to the area system, and we'll make contact with our support department. And what we have had so far is situations where we would go in and validate what is happening. If you in fact lost connection or something happened, and we would make arrangement to either extend the time, or the professor would make other arrangements for you to sit the exam. From a student position, if you're having connectivity issue, then I would suggest the best solution would be for you to use your mobile phone. If your computer is offline, if your internet goes away or electricity, and get to the area and application. Right at the login page, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see something that says live support option. You can send a ticket to that immediately. That allows the ticket to be time-stamped, so we'd know exactly what is going on, and we can also verify what the situation is and help to work with the professor to ensure that you're able to sit the exam, or we can come up with a solution.
Mr. Anderson, how has this season been going? Everything being considered, have you gotten any reports of issues with the applications, the software, or anything else? How has this exam cycle been going?
So, as you mentioned earlier, one of the issue that we're having, and it's not Jamaica, it's not NCU, it's a global thing that is happening where there are connectivity issues. So that's the only problem that we have seen so far, where some students may have a connectivity issue. One of the challenge that I'm seeing, and I'm glad we have this opportunity to really speak to it, is that a lot of the students are trying to take the exams on their cell phones. The cell phone is not made for that. And I will tell you, if you're on WhatsApp or you're watching a video or whatsoever streaming program you're having, you will realize that one, if a telephone call come in, you're going to drop your signal. The way the system is set up, once that happens, you're going to get disconnected and you're going to have to go back in. Sometimes you will have challenges going back in, and it has nothing to do with the system. It just has to do with your ISP, your internet service provider. So we have seen some of those, but it is not as extensive as I thought it would be. Thank God. So the students seem to be generally doing very well with the system, and the exam is going fine so far.
All right, Mr. Anderson, for even greater clarity, let's make a list together. What are some things that students have to do, absolutely have to do, to ensure that their exam experience is smooth?
Firstly, do not use your cell phone. Find yourself somewhere where you have proper internet connection. Do not attempt to use your data plan on your mobile phone, because you might have connectivity issues, right? Try to be in a relaxed environment where you can focus and get it done. Also, ensure that you're not running like additional programs in the background, such as you're streaming anything in the background while you're sitting the exam. Close out as much as you can. Just have your Microsoft Word open for you so you can type your essay type questions, and keep your browser closed. Close your tabs. The only tab that should be open should be your examination tabs. Once you have that, then you will have a much better experience going through your exams.
Okay. Mr. Anderson, you spoke about support earlier. I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer this, or Dr. Kelly, but in a case where I know during face-to-face exams, students normally have invigilators at their disposal to clarify questions. Will there be an online support for students? I know that probably if a student has a query or a question, the response might not come in time if an email is sent. So is that kind of system set up for students by any chance?
What is there, you see the same way you access your classroom through your Aerian, the professor should be available so that in the event that there's anything that you need clarity on, they can reach out to them. What I've observed happening is that there are invigilators or somebody's working in the background from the department, and if there's something that needs clarity, they reach out to the professors and the professors will respond to them. So I see where the support is going on. They're supposed to log into Blackboard. The professors tend to log into Blackboard and join the students as they're doing the exam. That will offer better support.
Just to support what you have said, sir, the facilitators of each class, they are required to invigilate their examination and to be on spot at least 30 minutes before the examination is open, and where possible, they are supposed to stay through the examination, and where possible up to at least 30 minutes after, just in case there are any eventualities. So yes, there is significant support there, or should be.
All right, Dr. Kelly, I have a question from you here in the live chat. If a student was barred from an exam due to not being cleared on time, what arrangements can be made to ensure that that student can sit the exam?
Okay, in a case like that, any eventualities, if the person was barred because they did not get financial clearance, if the person was ill, if anything at all happens and they didn't do the exam, there's a process that they would have to go through. They would go on the ARN system and they would apply for what we call a petition to do the exam at another time. The petition is submitted by the student, the advisor would sign off, the chair sign off, and it goes right up until it gets to the petition committee. When the committee meets, they will approve or disapprove based on the rationale and the validity of what was submitted, and the student is able to do the exam at the next sitting.
All right, Dr. Kelly, and I have one more question. How are we dealing with clashes for students who have exams that clash?
Yes.
All right. For every submission of the examination timetable, that examination timetable is usually sent out through CCNPR to everyone a minimum of 4 weeks before the exam. And along with that, there is a notation that in the event a student has a clash, whether it be one clash or 2 or 3, whatever the situation is, if they have a petition the exam from previous semester to be done during this semester, they would click on that link that is sent with the examination schedule through CCMPR. They would complete the required information. That information is collated at the examination center. Our admin assistant work along with admin assistant from ADP's office, and they ensure that they set up a schedule with the student and the teacher, secure the exam, and have the examination done as early as possible after the first exam that was clashed. So say, for example, you have a clash between A and P1 and a clash and mathematics, whichever course that is, and you are taking one at this sitting, immediately after you're given that opportunity. Similar to the face-to-face, when you would have been taken from a room to the classroom, you'll go there and wait. So you are in a waiting space, and the exam is administered.
All right, Dr. Kelly, thank you so much. Coming up on Topics on the Hill, we're going to have representatives from the United Students Movement's PR team to talk about some of the hot things that happened this semester, and they're also going to be sharing with us what to look forward to in the semester ahead. Don't go too far. This is Topics on the Hill. We'll be right back.
NCU, come learn about your school and be in the know about your current affairs. If there is ever a time that